Oh, no clip today. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, whichever time you're watching. Welcome to another episode on Women's Talk, where it is sizzling hot, interactive, and transforming. On this episode, we are going to be looking at a topic: cell phone privacy or transparency. Cell phone privacy or transparency. Should my partner know my cell phone password? Cell phone has caused so many relationship harms, fights, doubts, breakup, even divorce. Do you believe that a healthy relationship should have boundaries while trusting each other? What do you want with cell phone? Transparency or privacy? Let's find out as we dive into today's conversation on Real Men's Talk, where it is sizzling hot, interactive, and transforming. And I have with me in the studio my co-host as we dive into today's conversation. We have Dr. Femi Samuel. Good evening, sir.
Oh, good evening, viewers. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Martin.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Let's use this opportunity to wish Dr. Oludare and Nurse Ruth a happy married life. The Lord bless your union. Happy married life, Dr. Dari and Nurse Ruth. Adewuya. So, as we dive into today's conversation, Adewuya, should couples know each other's password? Let's look at that.
Thank you very much. A few years ago, in this part of the world, cell phone was introduced, and it's fast becoming our culture. Now, cell phone starts taking over from some of our activities. It's our diary. We need to schedule appointments, to check our time, it's a timer, as alarm. You can watch movies on it. It can serve as your camera, video camera, and serve your picture camera. So, in fact, people abuse cell phone for a lot of things. Even things like can be a remote to your car. You can it's connected to your CCTV. You can check your CCTV at work or at home on your cell phone. You can talk to so cell phone that was introduced to us 10, 15 years ago is different from the one we have now, in which your cell phone can do virtually everything for you. Now, as this is becoming part of our life, most of our things like our privacy, our bank accounts, our email, some people even work on their cell phone. Your BVN number, everything is on your cell phone. So cell phone now become something that is a necessity that we make use of to be part of our life. In fact, people go to church with cell phone because the Bible is on cell phone, your Quran is on cell phone. I have books on my cell phone. I have my certificate on my cell phone. From my primary school to postgraduate, everything is on my cell phone. So every of my team, myself, my life now revolves around that cell phone. So people suggested that if you don't see your cell phone within shortest possible time, you start getting agitated. If your cell phone is missing, your account can be clear in the twinkling of an eye. If your cell phone is missing, someone who has access to the security features in your at workplace or at home. So now cell phone is not part of our problem, it's part of our life. People now feel that this device that has gone beyond making call and receiving call, that has gotten to the point in which it's our second nature. That have drawn people that are farther from us, people that are away from us closer, that have breached relationship. The internet, we access it on cell phone. Unlike those days that people go to cyber cafe to download form, to fill form, to check their mail. Every single thing you need is just at the click of your button. Now, should we leave that level of information about ourselves, about our security details, about our finances, about our life, our planner? Should we now leave it for anyone to just access? So that has gotten to the point in which cell phone now, people now start passwording their cell phone. But this doesn't still not have its own demerit. The demerit in the sense that you password a cell phone. I've had a case in which there was a road traffic accident. I don't know if it's fictitious or if it's a true life story. A road traffic accident. 5 people were involved, all of them having cell phone, and nobody else could access the cell phone because they were all passworded. The passerby, the caregiver that want to rescue them, they couldn't access anyone through the cell phone because the cell phone has been passworded. So there is no hard and fast rule about it. There are reasons why cell phone should be passworded, and there are reasons why cell phone should not be passworded. So just that if you password your cell phone to keep those details, those sensitive information away from people that you don't want them to have access to your cell phone. It may shock you that even my dad, that doesn't have anything on his cell phone, is passwording his cell phone. For me to operate something on his phone, I will give it to him to unlock it before I produce it. He will not tell me the password. So it has gotten to that people will have to password themselves because they believe that if you have access to someone's cell phone,
that's a credit alert
you have
there. You said
access to so many details about that person. Well, I don't know. Even if it's credit alert, it may not be as much as what I have, or maybe it's not. But to operate the phone, I will have to give it to him for him to open it for me to use it. Will not tell me. So we've gotten to we are now in the world where cell phone is part of our life. So with your cell phone, you can be in some people can be in isolation for 1 month with their cell phone internet facility and they will not be bored because you are connected to a lot of people. You can pay, you can buy, you can make transactions on your cell phone, order for good on your cell phone, make payments on your cell phone. It's your second nature. It's just you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So in that line, should couples have full access to each other's phones?
Well, depending on what you mean by full access to each other's cell phone, couples should have access to each other's cell phone, but not full access. Full access means that you know everything about my cell phone. If you know everything about my cell phone, it's as good that you know everything about it. I mean, that you know people I talk with, you know how I make my bank transaction, you know my planner. I mean, everything. So I'm not talking about full access, but I'm talking about having access. Because for you to have full access about cell phone, that means that you know everything about that person. If you get someone's cell phone and go through it and decode it, you can tell who the person is. Even if it's a terrorist, a bandit, or kidnapper, you will know. Cell phone will tell you everything about. So I don't believe a couple should have full access to their cell phone, but they should also have access to the cell phone. A phone can be passworded, but your wife, your kids can know the password to your phone. But that doesn't mean they have full access. The reason why they should know the password to your phone is a case of emergency. You are at home, you collapse, heart attack, your wife has your cell phone, cannot call your colleague, cannot call your doctor, cannot call the ambulance with your cell phone because there was no access to the cell phone. That's not good enough. What are you trying to hide? Unless you are an intelligent officer, maybe in SSS or NIA or CIA, you can say, okay, people should not have access to your phone. If you are none of this, people should have access to your phone, but not full access. Full access to one's phone. So if I have full access to your phone, that means I can transfer money in your account. There was this case that a woman met a colleague at workplace and complained that the bank is deducting her money on due. The colleague got the phone, looked at the phone very well. You know what was going on? The woman asked his son, 18 years old boy. The 18 years old boy was making transfer. Then the transfer was in multiple forms. The transferring like 2,000 naira alternate days. So the woman was just noticing that. The woman was casual worker, not that rich. That someone was stealing. That is because the child does not only have access to that cell phone, have access to the mobile transfer. So he can easily transfer the money. So that means that if you talk about full access, that means I can access your account number and move all the money in at once. So I don't believe couples should have full access, but they should have access to your phone, not full access. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, having my spouse's password to his phone is a different thing. But having his password, is it healthy to go through my partner's phone, or can it be seen as infringing on my partner's personal space?
Thank you. Having access to your partner's password is okay for any reason. So you have access to your password in a good relationship. You have access to your password to your phone. Have access to your ATM password, your account, and all those things for emergencies. If anything happens, that means that nobody can even touch your phone. But to now start, snooping on the person going through everything is like infringing the person's rights. It's like putting a CCTV camera on someone or a tracker on someone to know the movement. It has its pros and cons, but you know that spending time to now start going through the phone looking, because there is one thing about life. If you dig deep, you bring out things. It's a principle I've always known. If you dig deep, you bring out things. So when you now start putting CCTV, you start cloning the person's number, you want to listen to the conversation, you start, who is he talking to, checking the mails, checking the chat, checking the call record, the transaction and all this. Unless there is something you are looking at, there is no need you working as an unpaid NDI agent. If you want to be a detective, you can pick up a job with Nigerian police or SSS. You'll be taught and you'll be paid, well paid for that job. You'll be well remunerated for the job. Not that you now start snooping around as if you are looking for something. See, the way the phone are being made is just us. A man's phone or a woman's phone can tell you a lot about that person. A lot. If you're a kidnapper and they have access to your phone, even if you are a Yahoo guy, they have access to your phone, they will see. Why do you think those boys that go to internet store, they don't go out with their phone? We need to take one minor phone, small phone, and go out with it. The real phone, they will go out. I know of a man that doesn't transfer money, that doesn't travel with his phone. He works in Abuja. I think someone was telling me also. He must go with another phone so that in case you kidnap him, you won't see it. 2 years ago, if I can remember, 2 years ago, yes, one of my colleagues was kidnapped alongside with some other staff. They checked one of those women's phone. They now saw the picture with the former governor of that state. It was Wahala. The kidnapper in Fulani were telling them that, see, so you tell me, you are telling me you don't have money. You've been to UK. This is not UK. This is not, it's be your UK. This is the picture with the former governor. Tell me you don't have money. And nobody will believe you. So sometimes what some people do is that they don't go out with their phone anyhow. So that when they want to make transactions, they will go back home and make their transaction. But as long as they are outside, you don't go with something. Because those phones contain sensitive information. Imagine you being kidnapped and what the kidnapper could see on your phone was the last transaction that you 50 million naira. There is no way they will ask you for 100 million, 200 million. Because it shows that you have the capability to pay that money. So, phone actually contains some privacy. If you are not snooping on someone's phone, trying to go through it, you are infringing that person's privacy. And I don't think that is good enough. Because that shows the relationship is not going to stay long. Because there is no trust. And there is no trust, then what are we standing here doing? Thank you.
So with what you have just said, that means it's wrong to let's say going through my partner's text is an abuse from what you have just said. Is that like I want to see his text message, I want to see the messages that he's sending.
With what intention? With the intention of finding a fault, yes, it is. Someone said it jokingly somewhere that a man's phone is like onion. The more you peel it, the more tears come out of life. So what you are seeing is looking for you see. Going to your partner's phone with what is intent to catch him, to get him, or to look for his fault or what he has been doing, or who is sending money to. I don't think that you have to learn to trust your partner to some extent. If you don't trust your partner, that relationship is not that way, and you won't go in long way.
So is it wrong to now ask to check my partner's phone? Now I'm asking to check his phone.
You can ask. Check, yes, you can ask. That can I go to your phone I'm sure the partner will ask, what are you looking for in my phone? You can ask actually. If you ask, if he feels that you should go through, he will show you, to give his own, take, go through it. Partners, couples have exchanged phone in the past, even exchange numbers, exchange phone and numbers. Go with your phone for 24 hours. Let's see what happens. There's nothing wrong with your ask. But in case the man now says no, don't feel offended, or the woman says no, don't feel offended. Because, like me, I can't leave my phone for 1 hour. I will get all sorts of calls. I remember the day my MD was calling me. I got in, I saw 3 minutes, I called, but I didn't pick. I had to send the message. So most of the time, I try as much as possible not to go away from my phone. I'm a doctor, I could call for an emergency. So I try as much as possible not to go too far away from my phone. So that, because the life they actually depend on.
Okay, so if my partner is defensive when I ask to see his phone, or he grabs his or her phone from me, or eager to take his or her phone back when when the phone is in my possession, is that a sign to be suspecting the person, or is it a reason to tell me that he's hiding something?
Well, it may be your partner is hiding something when he doesn't want you to touch his phone. But the intelligent ones, you create a decoy. What do you mean by decoy? They will prevent you from checking their phone when they know there is nothing. So that you insist and look at the phone, you see anything. After a while, you stop looking at the phone and assume it's just their way. You don't like people touching their phone.
So, does spouses have right to privacy with phone?
Yes. Spouses have right to privacy. Yes. They have right to privacy. You have right to privacy. The fact that we are spouse doesn't mean that I mean want to operate an account that I don't want you to know about. It's my right. If you ask, I want you to know about my secret account. I may be in a project I don't want you to know about. It's my right. That doesn't mean I mean for spouses, everybody, even your kids, they have the right to privacy. So far they are more than 18 years, they have right to their privacy.
Okay. So, is there any precaution to be taken before giving one's password to one spouse?
Yes. Things are so, I've heard of cases in which people misplace their phone and the next thing is that the account is empty. I've heard of multiple people like that. It happened to one of my sisters. You misplace your phone at night. By the time you get to bank the next morning, that account is empty. Because people now have access to BVN. When they get their BVN, your BVN, there is a way they can access your account. Now, when you are not giving such phone to what do I mean, to a stranger or to someone else, you need to ask yourself, what do I really have for my phone? For instance, a few years ago, I read the story of two bankers that had an illicit affair at themselves, and they made some recordings in their phone. The phone was misplaced. Someone have access to the memory card and shared it. The two of them were married. So depending on what you have on your phone, if you have things you don't want people to look at, then you have to password your phone. Because some people just dropping your phone, they will open it, they just want to be looking at it. Just in the twinkling of an eye, some people can access all your what do I say? All your pictures. A friend of mine was telling me a story. He's a doctor. He was in the world. He now saw that this story like around 10, 12 years ago. He now saw someone's story, another worker, started going through the story, stumble on the picture. When he was happening, he started seeing the new picture of the lady and appearance. The lady knew, just remember, I left my phone. The guy quickly dropped what he was checking. But you are seeing it. Imagine someone transferring something. So I believe that your phone in this era should be passworded. Then there are two levels of security. There are different levels of security. You can also have password the phone and also password have some application that you want to password. Like it may be your chat, maybe WhatsApp chat, any chat. It may be your mobile banking, you want to password so that people cannot access it. It may also be your pictures or something you want to password. Because the phone nowadays contain a lot of sensitive information. Sensitive information, your pictures, your bank accounts, your details, everything, your certificate, and you don't want someone to have access to this. So it makes a lot of sense for you to password it. But why passwording it? People that are close to you, you have access to that password in case anything happens. Someone should be able to access it. Someone that you trust should be able to access your password. Not a password that you want to carry to your phone. That may not be good enough. Some people have access to it despite the fact that you want to keep those information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let me just give a certain example. I have a 13-year-old boy, and he's very, very techy. So he happens to know my password while trying to spy through. So one day I told him, okay, and I'll change the password. So he was trying to know the new password. And I told him that, do you know that if someone have access to my accounts, because you know my password, the first person I'll think of is you before I go to the bank to find out what happened. At that point, he said, I am not interested in your password again. Because I told him that if I knew you don't know, have access to this password, if anything happened, I'll go straight to the bank. I'll say, no one has access to my transaction or whatever. And he just gave up. Because at that point, I felt he has no reason to have access to my phone. He don't have any business. If you want to make up, just tell me, I'll open the phone and give it to you. Do whatever you want to do. But I don't want to tell you my password. So let's go on. So let's assume that, let's say I'm a Snoopy type. Can you tell me why I shouldn't check my partner's phone? You know, a Snoopy person will naturally want to just see what is happening in all the application.
Want to check.
Not for any reason.
You just want
but just for curiosity's sake.
Just be as if it's fun. Curiosity. You just want to know what is going on the person's past, on the person's phone. If you're a Snoopy person, the advice would be just see it as if infringing on someone's privacy and let it go. Because as long as you will not the search will not end. Searching through my phone will not do a day's job. This is a phone in which there are some information I may not be able to get out in an hour. I'm still looking for where I get maybe a file or something. I know it's there, but I can't see it.
You're muted.
You heard me?
You just
so as I was saying, can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
So just have to tell yourself you can't be snooping around. it's not to your own good. Knowing too much about it is not to your own good. But there are some things that are better not to know. Because if you know, you won't feel good about it. You may feel that let me know to know how to protect yourself. If you know something, you won't feel good about it at all. You feel bad about it. So it's better if you don't even know at all. So if you're a stupid person, you just have to control yourself that I don't think I want to continue with this. I don't want to.
All right. So let's say being naturally open, can it lead to the open person feeling the open boundary has been disrespected? Is it possible? Or let's say, can one be taken for granted for being
being naturally open, it can be taken for granted. Like giving your phone to somebody, and before you know what's happening, the person is already going beyond his or her boundaries, going into sensitive places. There will always be a sensitive place in your phone, either your bank account or your chat or so sensitive that you don't want people to know. So someone giving you giving you access to his or her phone, and you are going beyond your boundaries, snooping into things you shouldn't have done. This is how wondering what do you really want. And sometimes even safe not to know too much. Because if anybody has my phone, there's a problem with my phone, my account, I won't be thinking about it because you know nothing about it. So people that snoop around should just know that you may be putting yourself at risk in case of crime. If there is a crime committed on that phone, you'll be a crime suspect. So why are you bothering yourself? Stay away from trouble. Stop haunting people's privacy. Stop looking at their phone.
Okay. It is said that borrowing your partner's your phone is more complicated than just passing over your phone. What is your opinion about that?
Of course, borrowing your partner your phone is more complicated. You know why? If you have a lot of things to hide and your partner has a lot of things to look for, borrowing your phone, you could check a lot of things out. A lot of things could be sorted out. Could be seen within that shortest possibility. Especially if you are giving your phone to someone that understands the functions of phone. Look everything out in the shortest possible time. So if you know you have something to hide, don't give your phone out.
So if my partner refuses to give me access to his or her phone, should I insist on having access? And should that bother me? Number one, should that bother me?
When it depends. If you feel there is something you are looking for in that position, that means that your suspicion or your guess will be right. So, but if you have a way of something, this is a personal thing in which you look for a way to sort your things, to sort things out. If your partner decide not to release this to our phone, there should be a way to sort things out.
Can I ask, should I insist on having access? Maybe you answered, I didn't hear that.
Well, that answer is personal. How you run your family. If you want to insist, you want access, or you don't want to insist, you want it's personal.
Okay. So let's just wondering, why do people snoop? A man can snoop, the woman can snoop.
The woman too can. Sometimes when there is lack of trust, you feel there is something you are looking for. You now start snooping on the person's phone, on the person's mail. Funny enough, it could be pathological. I've heard of Othello syndrome. Othello syndrome is a pathological jealousy in which a man believes the wife is having extramarital affair. You start going, checking the wife's underwear for signs of infidelity. In fact, the extreme of it is that it could kill the woman out of jealousy. So people that snoop around, it could be because they are jealous, or they don't have trust. Trust is gone. You now start looking you start checking his account. Who did he transfer money to today? How is he spending his money? Is he making unnecessary withdrawal? If he's withdrawing 50,000 naira and he's telling you 5,000 naira, is he giving someone money? You want to know. Is he chatting with anybody? Who are the people on his call log? Want to check the call log? Come up. All those things come up because there's lack of trust. Some people naturally, they like sleeping around. They would have been better off as an FBI agent. But because the country we have, they won't get job as an FBI agent. They are working, doing some other
Somebody
job.
said
So
that
they
every
still want to
woman
show
is
their
good,
talent,
is a good
that
FBI.
they have the capacity. Yes, I've heard that story. You see, what people don't know is that the best way to catch somebody is not to look for that person. When you're looking for that person also sit tight and try to cross all T's and dot all I's. Make sure nothing goes. But when you are relaxed, you see what you want to say. So you shouldn't insist on seeing someone so it's personal. The way you run your family, you can decide what you want to do with it. Thank you.
So can relationships survive snooping?
Most relationships will not survive snooping because there is no trust. If someone is sneaking, wanting to check your phone, check your call, everything about you, doesn't trust you. And in the shortest possible time, there will break down of law and order. Two of them will clash. You can't continue you thinking that not trusting your partner. It will not continue. You are going nowhere with it. You need trust in a relationship. You need trust. If you don't trust your partner, you're always looking for information. There are sometimes you get information that are not real, or that may not be the way it looks like, and you start fighting.
Or that are misunderstood.
It's almost like dead on arrival. It's understood. So if you are snooping, you will see things, either right or wrong.
Thank you so much, sir. So, let's say that for people that snoop, or when you check your partner's phone too often, it makes the person feel in control. But the person leaves the other person feeling vulnerable and exposed. What's your view about that?
I agree with that. When you snoop on someone's phone all the time, you monitor the person feels vulnerable, feel dejected. You feel, as if he's not in charge of his life, of his or her life. There's nothing as bad as please, I don't know why, please don't. In fact, you look at the phone and say, no, let me delete this. I can't explain this. You are not yourself. You live a sports life. You live a frustrated life because you feel someone is coming to ask you questions that you cannot answer. So, snooping has a way of breaking relations because you will always see things. You will see more than enough. So you must just learn to say, okay, let me have some level of trust.
So, what's final take on of people on this subject matter?
The final take is what I have explained before. Passwording your phone is good, but some people, some of your loved ones must have access to that password, must have a way of accessing your phone for emergency reasons. If you must travel on a long distance or you are going far away to, there should be someone close by that can access your phone in case of emergency, in case of road traffic accident, someone people need to call your loved one because it's important. Why passwording your phone has its merit by protecting your privacy. Its demerit is that in case of anything, you may be left alone and nobody will be able to attend to you. So on the final note, people that you are phone is a private property. In fact, some people's phones are more private than even their bank account. They can allow you to see how much they have in their account, but they don't allow you to touch their phone anyhow. So what I want to tell people is that when you snoop around on them and it's your partner, you may likely break a relationship. Learn to trust yourself and not as an unpaid FBI agent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's been an interesting conversation, and